What's up, people? So earlier this week I made a video on 5 things to avoid in the gym if you want to build muscle optimally. So I figured, why not make a video on 5 things you should actually be doing in the gym to build muscle more optimally. So let's get into it. And as you can see, I'm going to be voicing over this workout I had in Hat Yai, Thailand at Hat Yai Fit. So Hat Yai is actually the hometown where my dad's from. And I believe it's the 3rd largest city in Thailand. So it's in southern Thailand. You can Google it up. But anyways, getting to the content. So first thing I always recommend every person do if they're trying to optimize for muscle growth is train every muscle twice per week. And yes, this would mean at least going to the gym twice per week. For some, this may seem like a big commitment, and for others who are already going like 6 days per week, this is easy. Which ultimately brings me to my second point. If you know you need to train every muscle group twice per week in order to optimize for muscle growth, then you want to choose a workout split that you can actually reasonably follow even given your busy schedule. So instead of automatically defaulting to a 6-day PPL rest, PPL workout split just because you think you need to go 6 days in order to optimize muscle growth, which you don't, instead, ask yourself, okay, how many days can I reasonably commit to the gym? And based off of that, I highly recommend you watch my what workout split you should follow video in order to give you a breakdown of what workout split would like fit depending on how many days you can actually commit to. And while generally, yes, the more days you have, the more flexibility you'll have in your workout split choices, but ultimately, consistency is more important because if you're missing every 5th or 6th day on a 6-day workout split, then you're better off just lowering it down to 4 days. Because unless you make up the workout later within the week, you're going to be pretty much unintentionally lowering your workout volume. So you might run into issues with not being able to follow step 1, or the volume might just be too low for a muscle group now. So obviously that's not optimal for muscle growth, but you can also develop a muscular imbalance if we're talking about like a bro split and you're missing like an arm day every single week or something. So if you're trying to optimize for muscle growth, the bare minimum would be 2 times per week. However, I highly recommend you stay within 3 to 6 days per week. I think this is a good sweet spot where it's enough workout days where you can reasonably get everything done. The workouts aren't gonna be like too long, like in a 2-day split. Which also brings me to workout timing. You know, the more days that you commit, let's say on a 6-day split, your workouts are probably gonna be far shorter than the person going like twice per week. Okay, so that is something to also consider. In general, I like to keep my workouts at around the 1 hour mark. Absolute highest would be like 90 minutes, while on the low end would be like a 45-minute workout. If you're going like 2 or 3 hours, personally, I think that's too long because you're just gonna be like overly fatigued at that point. But anyways, second tip was choose a workout split you can actually follow given your schedule. And I threw in a little bonus tip on workout timing. Now, I know for a lot of you guys, choosing the workout split really isn't the hard part. It's creating the workout routine based off of the split that gets a little bit tough, especially knowing, okay, how much volume do I need? Am I hitting every muscle groups in a balanced manner? And that's why I highly recommend, if you want to fast track this and just kind of have everything laid out, have your own custom workout program that specifically is fit for your goals, then I highly recommend you apply to my exclusive one-on-one fitness coaching program. I'm still accepting applicants. You can see the testimonials here or on my Instagram. I have like a bunch more there. But if you're interested in that, check the link in the description, apply soon, and look forward to working with you. The third tip is something I talk about a lot, but I'm gonna present it in a little bit of a different way, and that is count at least 2 seconds on the eccentric of every single exercise that you do, every single one of them. As I've explained before, the eccentric is essentially the part of the exercise where the muscle is stretching. So in the case of a shoulder press, that would be on the way back down. For a bicep curl, also on the way back down. For a tricep push down, it would be on the way back up. I think you get the point here. What I see a lot of beginners, and I've even seen intermediate and advanced lifters do this, is they try to minimize the effort required on the eccentric so they can push more weight or do more reps. And this usually takes the form of rushing through the eccentric. So you can imagine on a bicep curl, you go for the rep and you bring the bar up, and then you just drop the bar really quick and then go for another rep. However, this is the wrong mindset to have because controlling the eccentric part of a lift has its own benefits. For one thing, you're going to be in control of the movement, so you're probably going to have better form, meaning there's less of a risk of injury. And controlling the eccentric is good for hypertrophy because it allows you to maximize mechanical tension experience on the muscle that you're training. And with all of that in mind, a great catch-all solution to control the eccentric is just having a 2-second tempo on every single exercise you do. If you need to, you can literally count 2 seconds. And over time, when you do this after weeks, months, years, it's going to become very natural for you to control the eccentric on pretty much every movement you do. You're probably going to be developing better mind-muscle connection and, of course, making more gains. And truthfully, I think a lot of people know they should be doing this, but the problem is ego, right? You want to be able to push more weight, get more reps in, and by controlling the eccentric, you're making the set harder. Like, you're not going to be able to handle as much weight or do the same weight for as many reps, but don't see this as a bad thing, because at the end of the day, what are you here for? You're here to fiddle your ego, or are you here to build muscle? And on top of that, not to be completely honest, when you control the eccentric, you just look like you know what you're doing. Even if you're a beginner, automatically your workout form looks better and you look more experienced. Fourth tip, I know a lot of you guys are not doing this, so definitely listen up. Make sure you're getting enough rest in between sets. The vast majority of people who go to the gym simply do not give their bodies enough rest in between sets. Unless you're a power lifter or maybe you're chronically on your phone. So speaking from personal experience, I think it has to do with the fact that a lot of weight training that's incorporated in sports is done at a higher and elevated heart rate. Okay, so it's treated as more like high intensity cardio rather than just specifically like weight training to build muscle, which makes sense, right? Because in sports, you want to be able to perform at a high level, have a lot of output and power, while still being tired, like, because that's just kind of like the fact of the game that they're playing. However, when it comes to hypertrophy, so the art of building muscle, when you're in the gym, you are there to build muscle. And simply put, you need at least 2 minutes of rest, roughly speaking, in order to adequately give yourself enough rest so you can actually push as hard as you did on the set before. Because I know a lot of you guys struggle with your strength decreasing on your later sets. Well, it just might be the case that you're not giving yourself enough rest in the first place. And obviously, if you're giving yourself short rest times and now you can't perform as well, then obviously you're not going to be maximizing your ability to build muscle. So that's number 4. And from what I've seen in Thailand, it's no different here. So I'm just going to assume that most of the world just doesn't rest enough. And I think this comes from my favorite a lot of people getting to do while resting is sports, drinking water. And I know specifically in like track and field stuff. Number 5, similar to number 4, where it's recovery based, consider deloading. Now, deloading is essentially giving yourself an easy workout day in order to recover better. So it falls kind of in between a regular workout and a complete rest day. But instead of completely resting, you're still going to the gym and you're still performing the exercises, but at a lower rate, at a lower intensity, less reps, less volume, that sort of thing. Because let's say you haven't been feeling that strong in the gym lately, even though like you're going super consistently, you kind of plateaued, but it's not like there's anything wrong with you, right? It's not like you're injured specifically. So technically speaking, you can continue going to the gym. So instead of taking an entire day off from doing what you love, throwing off your routine, perhaps if you take a rest week, potentially lose strength, you can do a deload where you go to the gym, you're still gonna benefit from the recovery since you're not gonna be training as hard. And because you're still going to the gym, you're still like, hardwired into your routine, right? It doesn't feel like, you took time off or anything like that. But physically, when you come back from the deload, you feel good. And that's because you're decreasing the amount of fatigue that has accumulated from the days and weeks of you previously training super hard. And when you lower the amount of fatigue that you have, you can perform better, push more weight, apply progressive overload, train harder than last time, and that's going to obviously allow you to ultimately build as much muscle as you possibly can. So with that said, that was the 5 things to do in the gym to build more muscle optimally. If you enjoy this, please leave a like, hit subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this, and some more nice and juicy content coming while I'm here in Thailand, since Frankie's flying out pretty soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.